Anyone who watches the WNBA knows there are a lot of cool moments in nearly every game.
Teresa, a three, it's good! She got it! The goal gonna have to heave. She does! That's it! The LA Sparks!
And in this video, we'll be taking you through the 1 in a million WNBA moments from over the years.
Nobody better in the history of this game doing that!
Trust us, you don't want to miss out on any of these moments, so be sure to stick around until the end.
Teresa has her bench jumping up and down because she does what she always has.
There's no better moment to start with than the Hamby heave. You've probably had at least one conversation with someone who thinks the WNBA is too scrappy, right?
That's a dangerous pass! Hamby!
Well, this moment from 2019 pretty much shows how even all that scrappiness can be special. It was the WNBA playoffs, and the Las Vegas Aces were hosting the Chicago Sky.
9-point lead. Plum.
In a single-game playoff elimination. It was a close game for most of the night, but with 10 seconds left, and Chicago leading by 2 points, Sky's Courtney Vandersloot got the ball in the backcourt. The entire sequence that followed was just so scrappy as one team tried to pass the game out, and the other was hoping to steal a late win.
With about 6.5 seconds left, threw up a prayer, and it went in!
After a bad pass was intercepted, the ball ended up with Dearica Hamby. Weirdly enough, Hamby wasn't aware there were as many as 8 seconds left on the clock. So instead of making the easy play of passing to Sydney Colson, who was wide open, she stepped back and took a scrappy shot. The ball went in.
What a defensive play here by Hamby. Chicago was arguing that...
And that was enough to see the Aces in the next round of the playoffs. Don't know what you think, but it's not every scrappy play that leads to game-winning buzzer beaters.
That's a dangerous pass! Hamby!
Moving on, let's take a look at Connecticut's Game 5 comeback. Considering it's a recent one, you've probably heard about it before. The 2022 WNBA playoffs was one to remember, but the most hyped tie was semifinals between the Connecticut Sun and the Chicago Sky.
It's not scored yet for the Sky.
Nice pass by Lisa Leslie.
But there's one particular moment that qualifies as 1 in a million. The date was July 30th, 2002. Leslie's Los Angeles Sparks were up against the now-defunct Miami Soul at the Staples Center when a Sparks player corralled a loose rebound. Lisa got the ball and raced down the floor, unmarked and all alone. At this time, the WNBA was in its 5th year, but there had never been a single dunk in the league.
She dunked it! For the first time in WNBA history, someone has dunked!
Lisa had actually tried dunking in the league's inaugural game in 1997, but she missed, so fans never really expected anyone to try that in-game. But as Lisa approached the net on this night, she palmed the ball with one hand, set her eyes on the rim, leaped high as she could, and blam! She slammed the ball through the hoop and the entire arena went wild. Sure, the Sparks lost that game and Lisa broke many other records after this, but putting up the first dunk in the league's history is something you just had to be there for. And if there's one moment greater than this, it'll be Teresa Weatherspoon's shot. Connecticut Sun icon Taj McWilliams Franklin described this as, quote, a timestamp on the WNBA. Anyone who watched it could go back and say, I was there, end quote.
At the buzzer, a three! Oh, she put it in! She put it in!
For Sacramento Monarchs legend Ruthie Bolton, this shot made her think, that happens in the NBA, not the WNBA, end quote. And just like Washington Mystics superstar Alana Beard said, quote, if you don't remember that moment, you're not a WNBA fan, end quote. Run it way back to the earlier days of the league. In 1999, the finals featured the Houston Comets going for their 3rd consecutive title, and the New York Liberty hoping to win what would be the 3rd WNBA championship in history. It was Game 2 of what was a 3-game series at the time, Houston leading 67-65 with just 3 seconds on the clock.
Teresa Weatherspoon at the buzzer, a three!
Teresa "Teaspoon" Witherspoon had the ball in Liberty's half-court. They needed a 3-pointer to remain in the tie, but clearly she couldn't sprint down the court in 3 seconds. So Teaspoon did the only thing she could do, With about 2.4 seconds remaining and opponent Thompson on her left shoulder, she heaved the ball into the air from behind half court, and just as the buzzer went off, the ball went in. Liberty had won 68-67 with just the final touch of the night. According to Teaspoon, quote, "As soon as it left my hand, it looked as if it was good." End quote. The Comet inevitably went on to win the championship in Game 3, but Weatherspoon getting her team that far remains one of the greatest moments in basketball history.
She put it in, and the Liberty win Game 2. What a finish!
From one buzzer beater to another, this next one-in-a-million WNBA moment came from Shay Petty's game winner. While scoring a game-winning shot is always an unforgettable experience, the true magic of this play is in Shay's backstory.
To the corner, a three is good at the buzzer!
Petty had grown up in the projects, graduated from a mid-major college, and struggled to even make it to the WNBA. The year before, she had been brought in by the Mystics for the ending games of the season and was part of the championship-winning team. However, she was soon cut from the team, and the only team that had enough faith to sign her were the Phoenix. Fast forward to 2020, and the Phoenix were up against the Mystic in the playoffs. She was just a rotation player hoping to get some minutes against her former team. Well, she got more than that.
Does this look like a team that's had to win their last 4 games, who's felt like their back has been...
In the dying seconds of the match, a play was drawn up for Diana Taurasi to get the ball and make the final shot of the game. Coincidentally, when the Phoenix got back on the court, Skylar gave that final pass to Shay Petty instead, and despite not expecting the ball, Petty pump-faked, sending Leilani Mitchell to the touchline and put up a clean shot to win the game for the Phoenix.
A three is good at the buzzer!
It might seem like a regular game winner, but trust us, it's not every time you see a rotation player be the one to come up clutch for their team. And on some days, special moments aren't necessarily the